Hi friends, in this video I am going to explain about pre-IPO stocks from basic level, and I also will explain about stocks basics and wealth creation secrets which no broker or guru tell you in the market. So I'm doing this video just because many people don't know the basics of stock market, and some people considering pre-IPO as a illegal or fraud, or whether is it possible, why it is possible. They have different questions. So in order to give the answer and in order to show the proofs, I'm doing this video to make you understand from basic level of stock market, from the initial level of a company point. I hope this video will help both new and senior investors for creating the wealth. Many people think that stock market is just a buying and selling platform, but in the reality, we have different products in stock market like IPO, pre-IPO, multi-bagger stocks, swing trading, and portfolio managements. These are the real wealth creating products compared to some other ideas or other products in the market. So you might know this IPO every time because recent times it was a trending word in the market. So IPO is nothing but a listing of a stock company in a exchange like NSE, BSE. So the process is known as IPO process. So I am telling from the basic level of company and IPO so that you can understand what exactly a pre-IPO. So people who don't know the basics of a company and what the basics of stock, so I'm going to explain some basic terminology and basic things of a company and the stock exchanges, so everyone can understand what exactly a stock market. So let us consider these companies which everyone knows in the market. So KFC, McDonald, Burger King. So when the company KFC is launched, sometime he has to do the business as an individual, like a solo proprietorship. After some time, he needs some partner or investor, so he will start a partnership firm. But again, for the expansion of the business, he must need a company or the public limited company. It depend upon the expansion area and the revenue what he is looking for the growth of the company. So for that, as per the tax norms or as per the every country's business structure, we have different options to do the business like solo proprietorship, partnership firm, LLP, private limited, and public limited company. For the sake of stock market, we need to understand what is a private limited company, what is a public limited company. So private limited company and public limited company almost same for the tax benefits and the fundraising and loan support from the banks and all. But the basic difference between a private and public company is that they have difference for the share allocation to the ordinary people or the non-shareholders or the new investors. In public limited company, the company can raise money by favoring the shares to the new investors. Whereas in private company, it is difficult to the process. So public limited company is known as unlisted company until it is listed into the exchanges. So here we can understand that public limited company can raise funds by allocating the shares, so which is a legal. So pre-IPO also legal thing. The problem with that, for investing any public limited company as a pre-IPO, we need huge amount to invest in crores or billions. But if you have access to get the shares, one can buy. So the first thing is it is a legal thing when it is available in the market. So we can discuss on more point after on. Public limited company listed in the NSE or BSE, it can sell its share to retail investors. When the public limited company listed on any exchange, ordinary people like you and me can buy the shares on any stockbroking platform. So here we can understand every stock must be a public limited company, but every public limited company is not a stock. So public limited may be a unlisted stock. Buy the share on platform when it is listed on the platform only. If it is not listed on the platform, we have to buy on offline platform or direct mode. If somebody have access to contact with the management, he can contact the management, he can buy from the management. So that is possible with the normal public limited company. Like we can see many startup investors or any soft bank or angel investors are there. They are going to invest in some companies like Zomato, Swiggy, or Flipkart. We can see in market we came across different news on the startups and investments. So how those people are raising their funds? So just because of the public limited company only. We can say public limited company is the first stage of IPO, but in order to process for IPO, the SEBI guidelines or SEBI rules and regulations must be followed by the public limited company. Once the company satisfies with the SEBI's rules, it will goes for the IPO process, and after IPO process the normal people can buy on the exchange platforms. So what is demat account? Here it is another important point. Before 1996 we have the shares in physical format. So here we can say it's a physical certificate. But because of many problems like thefting and some misusing of the certificates and different problems with the physical certificates, the SEBI decided to go for a digital format of the certificates. So shares can be secured and it will be transferred easily compared to the physical certificate. So because of that rule, they have passed a rule to convert all physical certificate into digital certificate in 2019. So from 2019 onwards, all physical certificates become digital. But since 1996, we have access to get the digital certificate from new IPOs. So many people think that demat account is just a broking account. Broking account is not a demat account. Demat account represents your account where you will keep your shares. So for that we have another platform, that is NSDL CDS. NSDL CDSL, these are the two depositories just like a banks where we can save our shares and we can transfer our shares. So why we need these platforms? So as I told earlier, for converting physical certificate to electronic or digital mode, we need a exchange, or we need a separate entity. So the purpose and the main goal of a depository like NSDL or CDSL is to convert the shares from digital to physical or physical to digital. So that is their role. So as I told, from 1996 all shares were converted into digital format. From 1996 our shares handled by the depository bodies like NSDL or CDSL. So without having any NSDL or CDSL account, it's not easy to buy the shares and it is almost impossible. So again I'm coming to NSDL. For NSDL or CDSL we have a 16 digit number. First 8 digits of any CDSL or NSDL represents the DP ID and the remaining 8 numbers of the 16 digits will represent the client ID. So what is this DP? So DP is a depository participants. Depository participants are nothing but our stockbroker who will help to buy the shares and who help to transfer our shares and all. So it's a platform. So to represent their identity, we will use these first 8 digits, and as an investor we need our represent, we use remaining 8 digits of the demat account. So now you can understand what is a demat account and what is a stockbroker. Stockbroker is different, NSDL, CDSL are different. So here we can understand what is the role of NSDL and CDSL. So as I told earlier repeatedly, the main role is to convert from digital to physical or physical to digital certificates. Second, to help us to save our shares in safe manner and secured manner. You have to understand, in the market entire industry there was no single hacking or no single dispute raised in the CDSL or NSDL. So when the shares were transferred accurately and when we have entered the details accurately, it will deliver to the right person and right quantity. So there was no complaint, there is no problem with the NSDL or CDSL till today. If you are unable to understand NSDL, CDSL, I can tell these are just like a bank account. So how you keep your money in your bank account, same way we are keeping our shares with the NSDL and CDSL. So that's all about their background and all. And NSDL is supported by the NSE and CDSL is supported by the BSE. So NSE, BSE are the two exchanges where we can buy, sell our shares. So that is the basic of the NSE and BSE exchanges. So here one can see how the share buying and share selling is happening in the market. Say on the day one someone sell his shares and someone buy the shares from the DP1. So here we have another body known as clearing corporation. So this clearing corporation will help to clear our shares and to clear the funds from one account to the other account. So actually for selling and buying it will take some seconds, but in order to transfer the shares it will take 2 days, so known as T+2. In the first day the share confirmation and the share funds confirmation will be done, and the clearing corporation will check the both the parties accounts and it will transfer the shares from DP1 to DP2 after confirmation of the funds and after confirmation of the shares. So it's a automatic process, we need not to do anything, it's a back end process actually. So we have a system who can operate itself in a fraction of seconds. As I told earlier, broker don't have any rights on our shares. Only NSDL or CDSL will deal the shares transfer and shares holding rights. The broker is just a platform to see the prices and to place the orders. So the main thing and the main rules and regulations will be with the NSDL or CDSL. Once again, one can see the structure of the share transfer and fund allocations. So both the NSDL, CDSL are having two depository participants. As I told, participants is nothing but a stockbroker. So somebody Zerodha, somebody with angel broking. The clearing corporation will confirm the orders from different clients based upon the stock and price, irrespective of the broker. So this platform is for the all brokers and all stocks, not for one broker, not for one share. So NSDL, CDSL are also be handled by the clearing corporation in order to clear the shares and funds. So I hope you have understood the basics of the share transfer. I can guess 80 to 90% of Indian investors don't aware of CDSL and NSDL login. Many people have login access with the broker or with new rules they are using TPIN, but many people don't use the login. But I advise my investors and everyone to have a registration with your CDSL or NSDL and just see what's going inside your platforms. And again, I'm telling the broker is just for the order placing and all. CDSL or NSDL are the right authenticated bodies where we can do the transactions and where we have more access compared to the broker. I tell you why it is so important few minutes. So if you don't have CDSL registration, please open today and you can go to the registration page. You can see to register easiest, this one is good for share transfer and all and share confirmations. And if you have NSDL, you can register with speed e process. So here in NSDL account, you can see this one, speed ideas user. So when you can log in, you can see the shares related to the broking account inside of this eSpeed account. So this is the process for the offline shares. As I told, pre-IPO shares. So pre-IPO shares are not listed with the exchanges. So in order to sell those shares, we need a separate platform. So this is the process. Here there will be no clearing corporation. So it's a offline process because here there will be no broker. So we have to log in into our NSDL and we can raise a transfer request or we can do a instruction slip process where we can transfer our shares to the other DPA. So as I told earlier, knowing our CDSL and NSDL account is very important because last year, I mean 2019, there was a big scam happened in India. So that happened with a Hyderabad based stockbroker Carve who cheated their investors up to 2000 crores. This is a big scam in India in stock market and the demat accounts. So here the SEBI came to understand one point. The Carve is misusing the shares of the company. They have pledged the shares of investors and took some funds around 2000 year and diverted those funds to a real estate business. So after knowing this thing, SEBI has banned Carve from stock market operations and hand over those demat account to the another stockbroker. And it's a long process and the investor has to wait for some time to get their funds. So after this incident, SEBI came to understand one point. The broker is always trying to cheat the investors. So they have started a new concept that is TPIN. So just because of TPIN, we have 100% share security compared to normal trading. With TPIN options, every sell trade needs a TPIN from the investors. Without investors' permissions or without investor confirmation, the broker can't sell the shares, so the broker even can't pledge the shares. As this TPIN is valid for one day, we have to give the TPIN or the OTP confirmation for every trades. So this is a very secure format what SEBI recently launched, and I think investors are very safe after launching this product. Before this product, not only Carve, many times many other brokers also used the funds of the investors just because of uneducation of the investors, because some people don't have a proper phone or email communication earlier. So meanwhile the broker used to place the orders in the name of the investors and he has raised the brokerage. So that was a old story, but now the investor is very safe compared to the earlier. So this is another important product we have to know. This is client master list. So when we have opened a new broking account, we have to get a client master list from the broker, or we can ask for the client master list. So this client master list will show the client name, full details along with the DP account details. So this will help to transfer the shares and get the shares in offline and as well as online mode. So one must aware of client master list. I know majority stockbrokers don't discuss on this point. So you have to ask your stockbroker to give a client master list, or else you can contact your support team today to get your client master list. And along this client master list, there will be another product known as DP instruction slip. With the help of DP instruction slip, you can transfer your shares from one broker account to another broker's demat account. You can transfer to your relatives or family members demat accounts. So it must be known, and it is very useful for the investors to transfer their shares without doing any transaction on the platforms. So I hope these are the very basic things which will help you to understand what is the basics of stock market and what is legal, what is illegal. So all these points are very legal format. There is nothing illegal. What we have to understand, we have to understand the basics of the stock market and basics of the share transactions. So after knowing this, one can understand pre-IPO also legal point, right? So once again I am repeating these words, so some new investors will not get any problem. So NSE, BSE are the exchanges or markets where one can buy or sell the shares online mode. CDSL or NSDL are the depositories. So those companies or those platform will hold our shares in digital format. So those are the CDSL or NDSL are the secured platform, and never ever think for the hacking or any bankruptcy with these platforms. And IPO is something where one stock coming for the exchanges like NSE or BSE to be available for the retail investor to buy and sell on online platforms. So that is a IPO process, and it is a public limited company. Pre-IPO is something which is not listed in the exchanges, but it is a public limited company, and one can invest if he want to invest in the company, but one must understand company's businesses. Without understanding the company business, one can't invest. And MCA is a Minister of Corporate Affairs, which deals all the private and public limited companies. So SEBI is something where it will deals the investors across different platforms. And note, pre-IPO will not come under SEBI. Only IPO and listed stocks will come under SEBI. And for pre-IPO and all, MCA will deal that. And one more thing, most of the pre-IPO stocks will the physical format, but thanks to the SEBI from 1996 we are able to get the digital format of shares even in pre-IPO shares, but we have to check those shares from the availability list because some companies still having the physical format. So we have to check the availability, and I prefer to buy the pre-IPO shares in digital format rather physical format. Even if it is a good company, I prefer to buy the shares in digital format because I know it is more secure compared to the other products. So these are the very important terms. Before discussing the pre-IPO power, we have to understand the terms. So listing gain. Listing gain is nothing but it's a difference between the IPO issue price and the price of the stock on the listing date. For example, one company coming with a IPO at the rate of 100 rupees, on the listing day it has listed at 150 rupees. So the listing gain will be 50%. Grey market premium. Grey market premium is nothing but while IPO process is going on, some bidders or some interested investors they will buy the shares of the company at the higher prices. Their analysis is that on listing day the stock may have more listing gain. So for that reason, some people will buy the share on grey market. It's like a black ticket we can say. So all these things just for understanding the subscription and the listing gain, but every time it will not be a correct for the analysis because of many reasons. And here another term we have to understand: unlisted stock, delisted stock. Unlisted stock is something the public limited company which never listed in the exchanges. Delisted stock is something it was listed in the exchanges but it was delisted because of failure of the company or some other reasons. Just like our Cape Coffee Day or Kingfisher Airways, those companies were delisted from the exchanges. If you like the content, please like it and please share for your friends and please subscribe for more updates from our channel.